honor guards coming to bury a fallen soldier from Vietnam War. And they had a special section, I guess, for them. It was something. And Memorial Day to remember. And I had mentioned a while last week that it used to be called Decoration Day. Well, and I thought, I'm not even many people would even care. On one of the networks, I don't know if it was CNN, MSNBC, where it was, they had a historian on there. It wasn't Michael Beschloff, but another one. And he was going through the history of it, and he gave an account that was, I felt, how can I say, I said, well, geez, every squirrel gets an acorn once in a while. He mentioned Decoration Day, all the things that I mentioned, and I just got lucky. I thought, my, a historian talking like that, to know our history like that is important. That's why I reported on it. And here you have a historian talking about when you would go back in the day, they called it Decoration Day because you would put flowers on the graves, flags. You would hang the flag out in front of your house and so on. Decorate. Yeah. But I hope you had a good moment with your family. If you, people will, it's an odd way to celebrate it, but people will have barbecues, they get together. And it marks the beginning of summer vacation, really, Memorial Day. And then Labor Day marks the end of summer vacation. But we're delighted to be with you today. We have a new affiliate we'll announce on Thursday, and we're in New Mexico, Gary.
Yes, we do. We're in New Mexico, and they're going to play the show on Sundays. It's KCLV 1240 AM in Clovis, New Mexico.
There you go.
Which was not actually part of New Mexico. It was part of Texas. I didn't know that.
And we're making our way left and right, up and down across the country. And of course, Gary will tell you about the stream on the show and how we're, trying to get connected to you technologically. But it's all about human connection and making contact with you. And when I'm off air, I still think I have a microphone in front of me. I'm always talking to people, telling them about the show. And, yeah. And people geez, I didn't know there's a health talk show. I didn't know. And they're so eager to want to know, gee, I've been looking for a show like that. I need this. I need that. I don't know about this. I want to know about that. Do you talk about this? Do you talk about yeah, that's why we got to keep marketing. We got to keep putting the word out that we're here. We've been here for 14 years. This month is our birthday. On May the 5th, we were 14 years old. And I eat like a 5-year-old, Gary says. And that's okay. So we're 14 years old, thanks to you. And although I liked the day off yesterday, I wanted to be on the air. I'm glad I'm here today. Here's how to connect.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK. Dr. Garko's personal email is drgarko@letstalknutrition.com. Follow us, like us on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition, on the Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition, and subscribe to our YouTube channel on the YouTube at Let's Talk Nutrition, where everything's archived by date. And if you subscribe, you get an alert every time we come on live.
Dr. Sally Bird's in studio today. Chatted with her yesterday a little bit. We always enjoy having Dr. Bird on. She has a lot to tell you. I'm trying to think of a delicate way for her to report on something that she learned, and I don't know if we can get it on the air without. I'll have to talk to her off air and see if we can do it. It's an important hygienic issue, but it's sort of delicate, and I just have to figure out if we can do that. And Katie's here today. She's behind the glass, working the board. Miss Katie, how are you?
I am great. How are you guys this morning?
Good. Did you get up at 2:30?
I did get up at 2:30.
My God, you disturbed the roosters.
I did. I wake them up in the morning. I'm like, come on, guys, get up.
She gets up to go to work. She's here at the station. She does another show earlier, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Dark and early.
Dark and early. Sounds like evolution. Speaking of which, I have a quiz question. This is for Dr. Bird, and this is for Katie, because Gary didn't get the answer. How long do you think fungi have been on the planet? That would be things like, mushrooms and whatnot.
Oh, gosh.
How long do you think fungi have occupied the planet? Take a wild guess.
Millions of years.
Millions?
Yeah.
What do you think? How many millions? Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. Just guess. Any number. Go ahead.
How old is the Earth, Doc?
You think they've been around since the...
Yes.
Agreed. Yeah, I'd say since the dinosaurs were here roaming.
Okay. They found a billion-year-old fossil, fungus fossil.
Wow.
They've been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
And someone might say, why would that have to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything. They provide clues for us. I'm going to report on that. Here's another quiz question. Gary, you can participate now. Do you think you should eat breakfast in the morning before you work out? Or do you think you should eat your breakfast in the morning after you work out? What do you think, Katie?
I would say after, just because personally, if I ran or if I'd get sick.
Mm-hmm. So would I.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Right answer, wrong reason.
Fair enough.
Doc, I usually have people have a green drink before workouts so that their cellular energy is maximized during a workout. They don't get sick, and they can actually have lower inflammatory issues.
We'll talk about that. There's a study on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a story trending on why eating processed foods might make you fat. I reported on this when, Gary? Do you remember? Last week,
Yeah.
right?
Did it make major news now?
Made the New York Times. It made the New York Times.
Quicker than the New York Times.
On Tuesday of every week, on Tuesdays, the New York Times has a section called Science Times. I highly recommend it. I'll be back. We're coast to coast and global. We're here with you. Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, this post-Memorial Day weekend edition of the show. Dr. Bird's here, Gary's here, and reliable Katie is here. Always can count on her to get it done, and I'm glad you're there. Thank you for listening to the show or watching it. We are grateful. This story in the New York Times about fungi. It's a great story. The quiz question was, how long do you think fungi have been on the planet? And Dr. Bird said, well, how long holds the Earth? She's pretty close. Scientists reported last week, it was Wednesday, I didn't have a chance to talk about it. They discovered the oldest known fossils of fungi. Why is that important? Because it may reshape the theory and our understanding of how life arrived on this planet, on the land, from the oceans. This is interesting. The fungi, and I want to give attribution to Carl Zimmer of the New York Times. He wrote the article. He did a terrific job. Here's another quiz question. How many species of fungi do you think there are, Dr. Bird, or Gary, or Katie? How many species? You had to guess. Mammals, they think that all living mammals comprise fewer than 6,400 species.
Okay, so I would say probably about 1 million.
Good guess. You're good. It's a good guess. So far, they've identified 120,000 species. They think there may be as many as 3.3 million. Think about this.
Lawyers don't count.
No, lawyers don't count. They are one of the first occupants of land. They came from the oceans, the fungi did. And this really provides clues for us and our own existence and survival on this planet. One of the reasons they suspect accounts for why they have been able to survive so long, as you well know, you learned in high school in biology, or in junior high maybe, that plants rely on what? Photosynthesis to survive. And thank goodness they do, because we wouldn't be here. No plants were not around because they provide oxygen and in the air. Yeah, you get it. Mm-hmm. Nitrogen. Until scientists figured out how to fix nitrogen, the only natural source of nitrogen was in the atmosphere, right? Then scientists learned how to fix nitrogen and could make it synthetically. Nevertheless, I don't want to get off track. These fungi devour plants, rocks, anything. How do they do it? They have enzymes that do it. The enzymes break down whatever they come in contact with, even rock, which the fungi see as, a banquet. They use this strategy in a number of ways. Some are good, some are bad. Fungi can attack the human body and create serious health risks. We know that. Dr. Bird's shaking her head. Mm-hmm. Other types of fungi will live, for example, on the skins of frogs and salamanders. Kid you not. Which threaten hundreds of species, Carl Zimmer writes, with extinction. They can wipe out a species. Plants are their victims as well. They'll go after plants. And they present and pose a colossal threat to crops. Ask farmers. They will tell you. On the other hand, cows have fungi in their gut. That helps them break down the grass that they eat. Now, since we've had all these CAFOs, concentrated animal feeding operations, and they feed them corn, they have really destroyed the biological integrity of the cattle and the cows' digestive systems because they're eating corn. They're supposed to eat grass. Nevertheless, I don't want to get off track, but just throw it in. Most plants intertwine their roots with what? A network of fungi, which does what? It supplies nutrients to the plants. So there's good and bad with the fungi. They can destroy, wipe out species of animals or or crops or destroy crops or destroy maybe even a species of plant for that matter. But they also do good things. And when plants and animals die, fungi do what? They use the enzymes to break down the dead tissue. So they're our cleanup crew. This is remarkable, right? That's why I love doing this show. And what that does, it liberates nutrients, and the earth gets fed. They get fed. Everybody gets fed, right? It's all good. Now, the ecological importance of fungi have left scientists to think about their evolutionary history, and what does that have to do with our destiny and this planet? I'll sketch that briefly, and then I'll leave it to you if you'd like to go read it in the New York Times, the rest of it. We'll be back, LTN, coast to coast and globally. Fungi, about 1 billion years old. Oh, my. I spent, some might think, an inordinate amount of time talking about this story about fungi. They found these fossils that are a billion years old. Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. And in this article in the New York Times and the Science Times for today, that section, Carl Zimmer wrote this was a wonderful piece. And he talks about these fungi. And the scientists believe that the fungi, along with the plants, were the first inhabitants of land. But there's some evidence to suggest that maybe the fungi even showed up before the plants, because I think the oldest fossil plants they have is 470 million years. So assuming that if the plants weren't around when the fungi came on land, what were they eating? Scientists theorize maybe bacteria. I highly recommend that you read this article. It really gives you some insight into what's going on in terms of how this planet and its occupants have showed up, so to speak, and why we are where we are and how things unfolded. And it's just, I was saying off air to the crew that the plants are not only, we were first herbivores before we were carnivores or omnivores. And without the plants, and without sunlight, there would be no oxygen. There would be, this planet would be inhospitable. There would be no planet where you have all this life on it. But for the plants and the sunlight, those two things, we would not exist. Remarkable. Just remarkable. To me, anyway. I don't know. 877-897-8255. Dr. Bird, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Thank you for having me back.
So are you a fungi mushrooms, right? Are you Dr. Ingram, your colleague, is a big fungi fan. Both good and bad, the good and the bad of it. You eat mushrooms?
Yes, however, only cooked.
Right. Do not eat raw mushrooms.
No raw mushrooms, because they can disrupt your gut flora.
How so? Because they will consume them?
Yeah, they will hurt the good bacteria and promote the bad bacteria. So it's better to have them cooked, and the vitamin D2, it's active in mushrooms, is also brought out through even a light steaming process or adding them to soups.
They're on salad bars, though.
If
you wouldn't have told me that just now, I would have thought.
You're not supposed to eat them raw.
No. I highly advise it. Plus, they're dirty. Think how they're grown.
Manure, right?
They're grown in manure, and and all they do is brush them. Mushrooms are not washed.
That makes sense now.
Okay, so a bacteria, even from the growing, sometimes it's manure, sometimes it's a little kid of something else, peat or whatever. It's just not wise.
Mm.
So fungi include mushrooms, toadstools, molds, and Dr. Ingram's all dialed into that. You know that, right?
Yes.
And he's like a choir boy looking for a choir to sing with. No, nobody wants to talk about those things. He's the one out there doing solos on fungi. Thank goodness that he does. It's great that he's not the only one. There are others too. But what's new? You went to a recent anti-aging show?
Yes, the medical show, and this weekend is the premier hair and spa show. So we get medical plus beauty all within 2 weeks.
And what kind of products are they promoting for hair, skin, and nails?
All the salon products will be there, whatever's trendy to control frizz, to help keep your hair shiny, bouncy.
What about not losing your hair?
Not losing your hair, they have those red light caps and all types of infrared technology.
You got to stop there. What are we talking about?
It looks like a baseball cap with infrared technology. So it's a red light inside a cap. And if you wear it an hour or two a day, it's supposed to stimulate hair follicle growth.
You believe it?
I've never used one.
Are there any clinical trials? I don't know. I know.
Yeah.
You know how much I know about this? You could put it in a thimble, and the thimble would still be empty. It would still be empty because I know zero about this. Zero.
Some people do the follicle transplants and things like that, but the infrared light does help with DNA transference from unhealthy DNA to positive. And
So these are the things you see at these.
those are the things we see, plus a variety of skincare, body care, every type of scissor, hair cutting tool, hair dryer, hair ornaments. There's literal runways built into this show. So there are hair cutting demonstrations at all of the people that are in the know for trendy hair.
Darn. And for skin, do they have skin?
There's a lot of skincare products. Also, eyelashes are a big deal. Again, the red lights for aging well. Satin pillowcases so you don't get wrinkles when you sleep. I mean, there's everything there.
Oh, my God.
Tanning booths.
I'm just trying to figure out what to cook for dinner. Oh, there it is.
Yes, that's it. Capillus. That's very popular at these shows.
Find out if there are any clinic. Type in Capillus or what's the generic name?
It's a red light technology.
Red light technology.
Infrared red light.
Go to PubMed. Gary, go to PubMed, type in red light technology hair growth. And let's see if there's any clinical.
These have been out for quite
Let's
a
see
while.
if there's any clinical trials. Got to show me the data. For me to put that on my head, there better be some data. 877-897-8255. Katie doesn't need it. She got enough hair there for 3 people.
I do have plenty. And I actually have donated it, so I literally do have more for other people.
You cut your hair, then donate it?
I have. I cut 16 inches off last year and donated it.
Oh, my God. And what do they do with that hair? They make wigs?
They make a wig for it. I donated mine to children with hair loss, and
Aw.
they make a wig, and you get a certificate, and it's very rewarding.
Good for you, Katie. See? Good people around
Wonderful.
here. So what did you learn at the anti-aging show? What was the takeaway for you?
The takeaway is that many traditional medical doctors are looking for other avenues of income because the cost of insurance and the disassociation with personal care has gone so far over the edge. Like there's just health clinics. You don't have a family doctor anymore, that they need other sources of income, and hormones, especially pellet technology, balancing hormones, and keeping people young and disease-free is where they're going.
So we have concentrated human care operations.
Yes.
Instead of CAFOs, we got these. We herd people into a place and then we treat everybody like...
You treat everybody the same with a medication and they're
We'll
sick
be right
of it.
back.
Feel top.
to this post-Memorial Day weekend edition of LTN. Dr. Sally Bird's in studio. Gary's here. Katie's behind the glass. And it's all good. You're there. And that makes for a perfect chemical mix. I like it. 877-897-8255, toll free. Dr. Bird goes to these different medical shows, natural product shows, anti-aging shows, and I asked her, what did she learn? What was a takeaway from the anti-aging show? That's how they refer to it. I don't like that term, but nevertheless. And she said more off air. I think you should tell the audience what you saw and what you believe and what's going on with these doctors.
A lot of them.
These are traditionally trained
allopathic doctors are feeling that they're losing their badge of honor being a general practitioner because of the cattle car type of medicine that has now been thrust into our country for insurance purposes. And with the high rate of liability insurance and what it costs to run an office, many of them are choosing to a more lucrative pattern for successful aging in the aesthetic arena, from hormones to better ways of plastic surgery and also non-invasive methods like fillers and the threading and all this kind of thing, and red light technology is booming. So these are the trends that are becoming more popular in the medical arena.
So let me see if I understand what you're saying. You're seeing more allopathically trained physicians at these quote-unquote anti-aging shows practicing anti-aging medicine because they feel there is more of a purpose there for them? They can make a better living? What?
It's profitable for them because they're losing their income staying a traditional allopath in many of these arenas due to the insurance, Doc. The insurance doesn't cover everything that a doctor needs to do his or her job.
Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? I mean, are they doing it to make money? Are they doing it to better serve humanity? Are they doing it for both?
Both.
So you're finding more traditional doctors practicing, again, I don't like the phrase, but I'll use it, anti-aging medicine.
Yes, and some of them are creating wellness centers, which is a good thing. So they're bringing in chiropractors and acupuncturists, massage therapy. They're integrating old school medicine into a wellness center with aesthetics, which seems to be on the rise.
This is interesting. What implications does this have for the people listening and watching this show, everyday people? Do you think this makes for better doctors, worse doctors, better practice, better clinical practice, worse clinical practice? It doesn't make a difference. What do you think?
It depends if you're a person seeking traditional medications or not. If you're open to integrative medical practices that have been practiced for thousands of years with good nutrition and that's it could be a good thing. Now, in the surgical aspect, there will always be good surgeons. That has not gone away. Okay, so if for surgical procedures, we're speaking about the family physician here. So if a family physician can go back and work on the body itself instead of just writing a prescription, that can be viewed as a good thing.
Do you think there's a lot of flim-flam and flash and bang in anti-aging arena?
Of course. As in any other industry, you've got to do your homework. You've got to know who's good, who's telling the truth, and look for the science. And also results from previous patients.
I have mixed feelings about it. Sometimes you go to these anti-aging shows and you see these people walking around with $8,000, $10,000 Italian silk suits, right? My antenna go up immediately. You know, I'm showing up with a Puma jacket and hat on. You know, they look slick. And, right? You see them at the show. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, but not all of them are like that. Again, there's good and bad in every arena.
And they're just scamming, you know.
Some of them do.
They're just, it's a scam,
Mhm.
you know, and I always worry about it. So that's why I'm so careful on this show when I talk about successful aging. I do it from a science-based perspective. And there's some serious scientists in that arena, right?
Oh, yes. There's a lot of technology, and they're using technology now with science to deliver healthcare systems. So that's going to be the next big aha. But as with any person practicing medicine, there are good and bad in all of it. So just do your homework.
Okay.
Do your homework.
All right. 877-897-8255. 877-897-TALK. I went on PubMed.gov. That is the U.S. National Library of Medicine data source. I typed in red light technology, and I got 4,444 hits. I typed in red light technology hair growth, and I got 4 hits. I typed in red light technology medical use. I got 441 hits. So I don't know where it is. I don't know much about that. I have to do my homework and learn more. How legitimate is this? My audience, not my audience, the audience who am I? I'm just my audience.
And I sent you one on PubMed for a hat.
If
too.
you hear me say that, just throw something at me. Not my audience. This is the audience of the show. What's the matter with me? The audience would like to know that. You know, is this legitimate? Is it a legitimate therapy? I'll talk about if it's legitimate. First, I got to find out if it's legitimate. Then I'll do something about it on air. 877-897-8255. What's new from Silver Biotics? You know, the wonderful company up there in Utah that does all these great things with silver.
Well, they just launched the toothpaste and facial serum. Again, we've just been in the middle of all these shows, so they will have.
It's upside down.
Thank you, Gary. The new toothpaste to go along with the tooth gel that they've had for people who might miss their great tasting, powerful, strong, whitening and brightening toothpaste. Use the gel. They're both edible, and you can swallow them. Amazing for an oral care product. Safe to swallow.
This product has so many applications that are direct and indirect. We're going to talk about that in the second hour. Years ago, you couldn't, you couldn't even get me to say the word silver because it was, I viewed it as a bunch of nonsense. I've come around, I've changed my mind a lot, partially because of this company, Silver Biotics. We'll be right back. And welcome to this post-Memorial Day weekend edition of LTN. Glad you could stop by today, whether you're listening or watching, and wherever and whatever you may be doing. It's all good with us. And Dr. Sally Bird's in studio. Gary's here with me, as always. And Katie's behind the glass. And that's all good, too. So you're there. We didn't blow up the lab with that formula, so... I just know enough about chemistry to blow up the lab. Dr. Bird, welcome back to the show. Speaking of chemistry, I realized over the weekend that most of my chemistry courses have been in biochemistry. So, I'm not the guy that you want mixing chemicals together to launch rocket ships and stuff. No. Most of my courses have been in biochemistry, which is, of course, it's a natural, right? That's what this is all about. It's nice to see you in studio. How are you doing?
Fabulous.
I know you are.
It's good. Everything's great.
I did some research quickly. I admit my ignorance about laser, the language. It's called, the technical name is low-level laser light therapy, LLLT. And I did it specifically for hair loss. You know what? I found clinical trials, more than a few, and reviews of the literature, loose and systematic ones. There's a body of work here that this one review I looked at was in 2014, low-level laser light therapy for treatment of hair loss. The conclusion was, quoting, LLLT for hair growth in both men and women appears to be both safe and effective. And the other studies that I looked at, the same conclusion. So there's something to it then.
Yes, there is. For it to work, a person has to be diligent and have it applied almost daily for at least an hour to 4 hours. That's why they made those caps.
I see. So you put the cap. That's why you
put the cap on, and you wear it around, or you can wear it to bed. It's practical. And then there's these red light beds. There's handheld units.
That's how Katie grew all that hair. She was wearing a red, a low-level laser light therapy ball cap, and she grew enough hair. It looks like a haystack, right? That's
beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I'm only teasing her. She donates her hair.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing. A young woman gets up at 2:30 in the morning, go to work, man. You know me. That goes a long way with me.
She beats me by 2 hours.
That goes a long. That work ethic.
It is hard.
That work ethic. Please, I'll sign that person up every day, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's dedication. She has to manage her nutritional part.
Yeah, you should talk to her.
She needs to, because she's disrupting some brain hormones.
She can't. You can't see her. Mm-hmm. What's new at American Biotech Labs that the audience would need to know about?
Well, we just got back a Candida yeast study that showed that the silver can neutralize Candida yeast in 5 minutes, and it doesn't come back. And they did it up to all-day process, where some other components or technologies might kill it, but it takes longer and it returns. So on a daily use, to keep yeast down to a dull roar, which now that it's hot out and people might get athlete's foot, they might see their bodies becoming more acidic and getting yeast under their toenails, fingernails, anywhere on the body, using silver every single day to consume it. And please use the gel on your hands, your feet, your face, everywhere, to combat bacterial infections, yeast, and also, if you're out in the sun, sunburn. Please use the silver after burns.
Candidiasis is a fungal infection.
Right.
Notice, fungus. Remember I talking about fungi? They found a fossil. You see how I put it all together? Every squirrel gets an acorn once in a while. Boy, I'm so lucky. They found a fossil 1 billion years old. The fungi, they believe, were among the first to leave the ocean and come on land with the plants. They think that some think that they came together. Some say maybe the fungi were here first. I'm just saying. But nevertheless, it's a fungal infection caused by yeast that belong to the genus Candida. Some of the hundreds of Candida species can cause infection in humans. The most common is Candida albicans. Candida normally lives inside the body in places such as the mouth, the throat, the gut, and the vagina, and on the skin and without causing any problems. However, out of hand, out of control, you get an overgrowth, you're in a lot of trouble. Yes?
Absolutely. And just a note for all the listeners and people viewing that may be using a high protein diet known as maybe keto or paleo or whatever you're doing.
Keto is high fat, but go ahead.
But it's high fat, but it's also moderate protein.
Protein, yeah.
So many of these folks, their bodies are turning more acidic. And now that it's very warm temperatures.
Does that promote the fungal growth?
Yes, sometimes. So if the body is stressed out, we already have the molecular structure for yeast inside of some of it blooms. So if you're going through emotional stress while you're trying to diet and take off the weight, Candida can explode in your body even if you're not eating sugar. It's just something to be mindful. So when you consume a swig or a tablespoon of silver biotics daily, you get to keep it down to a dull roar and you don't hurt your body's probiotics that are healthy for you.
Candidiasis, when it develops in your mouth or throat, in the oropharyngeal area, it's called thrush. Many of you know that, or oropharyngeal candidiasis. Candidiasis in the vagina is commonly referred to as a yeast infection or invasive candidiasis. It occurs when Candida species enter the bloodstream and affect the internal organs such as the kidney, the heart, or the brain. All that information I just shared with you, you can get it too by going to your federal government, the CDC.gov. Everybody wants to trash the federal government. I'm using their sources. They do. Those bureaucrats know how to do this. They do. They're great, man. I use their websites all the time. We're paying for it. I'm going to use it. 877-897 income tax. 877-897-8255. Pay your taxes. Oh my God. I pay more in taxes than I have sense. It's crazy. I'm too honest. And my accountant, he's a church-going man, so I picked the most honest, straight-up accountant in the world. No, Dr. Garko, we can't deduct that. No, doctor, can't deduct that. I said, here's my stuff, you figure it out, and I walk out. He's so good. Oh, my goodness. We try to lighten this up, talking about this matter of yeast infection is serious. How can we delicately talk about what you learned regarding sexual behavior and the transmission of disease, and how can you do this?
Well, first of all, you need to know about the silver gel. Invaluable, because this silver can kill and neutralize the yeast. It neutralizes the DNA and the actual yeast, and it just dies and settles in the body, so your body can get rid of it. But even if you're loaded with yeast and you kiss somebody, you can transfer that yeast or thrush to the other person.
From the mouth?
From the mouth.
Okay. And people engage in
all types of various activities in the bedroom. You can transfer the yeast to any part of the body.
Oh, boy. All right, we'll come back. We'll talk some more. Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Summer months are here. There is a more increased risk for yeast infections and other type of bacterial-related infections. Welcome back to the show. Dr. Sally Bird's in studio today. Dr. Bird, I'll leave it to you to rhetorically and sensitively talk about hygiene and use of silver gel product for hygienic care for women.
Okay, well, at many of these medical shows, the Silver Biotics crew is attracting attention for the delivery system for the silver. And traditionally, they've been promoting the silver gel for vaginal lubrication and also for protection during sex and whatever anybody's going to do, regardless, because you've got a 4-hour window. However, in the last year, we have had a lot of doctors telling us that they are using the tooth gel as a sexual lubricant.
In the mouth.
In the mouth and also vaginally.
They're using the tooth gel?
The tooth gel in the mouth and vaginally because of the xylitol in it that's added to the silver, you get a little bit of a longer run. Because the silver gel absorbs in a minute, you've got a longer time frame. So whether you need to kill the yeast in your mouth for oral purposes or vaginally for traditional sexual purposes, it may be something for you to consider. Usually there's about a 3 to 5 minute kill time. But we're getting rave reviews.
877-897-8255. Well, you know, health and wellness is an adult.
Yes.
It can be an adult topic at times. And, you know, we're trying to be rhetorically sensitive and talk about these things that doesn't violate the sensibilities of people, but this is reality, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Do yeast infections tend to increase during the summer months?
Yes, because you're hot, you're sweaty, the yeast grows in warm, humid climates. For instance, even if a man experiences jock itch, for instance, in sports because they're sweating, that's a yeast infection, whether they realize it or not. Athlete's foot is a yeast infection. So it's something to consider.
877-897-8255. This is an important topic. Bathing suits and, you know, sitting in the, you know, you go to the beach, then you drive home, maybe it's a long drive home, then you get home, you're making dinner, you don't take the suit off. Bad idea, yes?
Bad idea because a rash could be growing in the wet, delicate climate. And what you could do is put on the silver gel for any hint of a rash. If the skin is broken, if it's a healed over skin, you could use a skin healing cream as more of an ointment. So there's a lot of different products from Silver Biotics that you could use to keep your body healthy and vibrant and keep the risks down this summer.
So there's no confusion. You have the silver gel by Silver Biotics. That is for application
anywhere inside or outside the body.
Then you have the Silver Biotics tooth gel, which would be oral. But Dr. Bird mentioned that some doctors are now using it vaginally in their patients because because of the xylitol, provides a longer protection time?
A longer time frame during the sexual process because the silver gel absorbs so quickly. So it gives a longer lubrication effect. And it's safe. You can eat the tooth gel. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I got a question. Does Silver Biotics help
wait. Where's the question from?
Can't tell you.
I mean, I don't want to know who, but I want to know.
It was a caller.
Oh, okay.
Wants to know if Silver Biotics has anything for pinworm in children.
Pinworms, normally, that's a great question, come out at night. And you may want to apply the plain silver gel literally on their anal part of their butt at night. If the children can possibly drink a teaspoon or two of silver. It'll help with systemic reaction, but you may also have to use it topically. I would just use the plain silver gel.
Turns out that pinworm infection, I didn't know this, most common type of intestinal worm infection in the U.S. and one of the most common worldwide. Pinworms, they're nasty little critters.
I know.
They're thin and white. They measure about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, and they're 6 to 13 millimeters. That would be about 6 to 13 millimeters in length. See that when the audience calls in with questions like this or sends Gary messages him on Facebook, that's why we love it when you do that. I mean, I wouldn't have brought that up. And it's funny, you know more about pinworms than I do, but
yeah, we had them as kids, Doc. My mom used to check us at night because that's when they're active.
Symptoms of pinworm infection include itching of the anal or vaginal area, insomnia, irritability, and restlessness, intermittent abdominal pain and nausea. Pinworms often cause no symptoms, however. So are they transmitted by contact?
Yes, if you're outside playing in the dirt, everybody's going to the beach, right? Or they could be going to a public pool. That's where you've got transmission.
Accidentally swallowing or breathing in pinworm eggs causes a pinworm infection. Oh, these are microscopic eggs, can be carried to your mouth by contaminated food, drink, or fingers. Once swallowed, according to the Mayo Clinic, the eggs hatch in the intestines and mature into adult worms within a few weeks. They don't pay rent.
No, they don't. So how about just stay safe with silver?
We'll be back.
You need it.
Don't be stressed out or anxious.
infections and, destroying summer fun. Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Turns out that during the summer months, there's a greater likelihood, makes sense, for fungal infections. We were talking about vaginal candidiasis, for example. We can talk more about that. The common types of fungus in or on the human body include candida. That you can have it in the mouth. It's called thrush or oropharyngeal candidiasis. You can also have what's called tinea. Tinea is this is all the terminology. This is associated with athlete's foot, the groin, sometimes called jock itch, the scalp. You can get it under the breasts. Sometimes the toes or the fingernails are ideal places for fungus to grow. That's the term they used for that form of the infection, Tinea, tinea, or tinea. So all the language to use. Turns out that the silver gel from Silver Biotics, Silver Biotics is the brand, is a wonderful product. It's just, you should have it around the house for the kids, for you, for everybody. What about the animals?
Absolutely. It's perfectly safe for dogs, cats, birds, lizards, because they can all harbor and be carriers of diseases. So, yes. The toothpaste, I used it. I'm all out. Doc.
It also whitens. Yes?
Yes, it does. It whitens and helps your teeth to remineralize the enamel. So that's also great.
Not to be confused with the tooth gel. There's the toothpaste and the tooth gel. The tooth gel is wonderful if you have some sort of periodontal disease. If you have if you have periodontal disease, this is wonderful. If you have receding gums, a lot of bacteria, this is wonderful. You can apply it, put it in your mouth, sleep with it in your mouth. You can swallow it. It's not going to harm you.
Yes, dentures, Invisalign, any type of oral mouthpiece in your mouth, it will neutralize the bacteria while you sleep.
I even put some on my toothpaste when I'm brushing. I'll even put some tooth gel on the Silver Biotics toothpaste. I put them both together. I mix them and I brush my teeth using an electric toothbrush, by the way.
It's a treatment for your mouth. It's fabulous.
It is fabulous. If you're going through chemotherapy or radiation and you have oral mucositis, I highly recommend it. Oral mucositis, those of you who've had it know how painful it is. It is horrible. I describe the pain as cosmically humbling. It's a pain that it's not even hard to put words to it. I went through it, I know.
The tooth gel also has research, Doc, for H. pylori. That's already been registered with the FDA. So H. pylori is another bad, hard bacteria that screws into people's guts. It can cause them ulcerative pain. And they can also use the tooth gel as a supplement.
H. pylori, that's the abbreviation for that. You can see why. Helicobacter pylori. Helicobacter pylori. Sounds like the name of a movie, some mysterious whatever. It's a type of bacterium. These germs enter the body and live in your digestive tract, as Dr. Bird said to you. After many years, it can cause sores, what they're called ulcers, in the lining of your stomach and the upper part of your small intestine. This can be serious business. Oftentimes, you will find people that live in third world countries or places on the planet where they're economically, socially challenged, and you don't have a lot of good medical and sanitary conditions. You find H. pylori prevalent, and people suffer. Let's go to Tampa, Florida. Del, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing, Doc?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Question about, I thought I heard doctor say that you could use the silver gel internally, and yet on the package it says for external cosmetic skin use only. Did I misunderstand?
No.
No, that's an FDA compliance.
The FDA made them put that on the box, but the silver gel, this silver gel, according to Dr. Bird and others, can be used internally.
Yes,
Okay,
it can.
well, that's
In the mouth, if you wanted to put it in the mouth, but they have the tooth gel. You can use that.
That's what I use for in the mouth. And another question along the lines of the tooth gel. Now, you got a toothpaste and a tooth gel. Is the toothpaste the tooth gel with an additive?
No.
Okay, strictly different.
Yeah.
Also, does the toothpaste have the same abilities to take care of the bad guys?
Yes, that's a great question, and the company doesn't mean it for it to be confusing. For the last few years, since they have been getting comments and feedback on the tooth gel, people have asked for a whitening and brightening product, whereas the tooth gel is a oral healing regenerative product that is best when you use it as a mask or a treatment or a step 2. So due to customer demand, they launched a brand new paste that is gritty. It's a completely different texture. It's gritty. It helps to remineralize the teeth and brighten and whiten. And then you can spit it out or swallow it. It is safe to swallow. And then use the tooth gel afterwards to maintain a healthy hygiene.
Did that answer your question, Del?
Yes, yes.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. Let's go to Bradenton, Florida. Pretty nice there. John, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dr. Garko. Good morning, Dr. Bird.
Good morning.
I have a question in regard to a silver gel and the armor gel.
Okay.
And my question is would the armor gel, which is like the for like minor cuts, would that work as well for a hand sanitizer, or should I just stick with the 4-ounce container of Silver Biotics silver gel?
All right, hang on. We'll give you the answer to that. It's a great question. The Armor Gel is a wonderful product made by...
It's also made by Silver Biotics. It's designed for the...
We'll come back. We'll give you the lowdown because we're headed into some hard messages. Don't hang up, John. You're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition, coast to coast and globally. We'll have the LTN Health question of the day. Gift card, if you will. Out of corner of my eye, Katie. I catch your cue. You think I'm not looking at you. I can see you. You're laughing at me. Welcome back to the show. Here's the WWW Worldwide Wrestling Federation question of the day. What am I talking about? Here's the LTN health question of the day. Candidiasis, this is a true or pick one or the other. Candidiasis is an infection caused by a yeast, which is a type of fungus, or a virus. Which one? Is candidiasis is it an infection caused by a yeast, or is it caused by a virus? If you have the right answer, you'll win a $25 supplement gift card.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK.
So John in Bradenton asked a great question. Silver Biotics, the brand, they make another product called...
the Armor Gel has been used in the sports arena and is kind of their mass-oriented product that is found in pharmacies. So that is similar technology to the silver gel. The silver gel in the natural product stores does not make the medical claims. So you can use either one, whatever easier for you.
So his question, can the Armor Gel be used to sanitize your hands?
Yes, it can. 4-hour protection.
Does that answer your question, John?
Thank you, Dr. Garko. I can't tell you how much I appreciate. I'm pretty much a whole food, plant-based, thanks to you. And thank you, Gary, for your work, and certainly Dr. Bird for your insight. And I appreciate the information. Thank you.
Oh, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
That's why
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah. When I hear things like that, it gives me, inspires me to keep going. Meaning that, because I learned 14 years ago, this is our birthday this month. We were 14 years old on May the 5th. You never know who's listening. You never know why, and you never know really where. You have a general idea. We get analytics. We get those analytics done for us. I have a good idea, but you know what? You still don't really, really know why people are listening, where they're listening, what effect you're having. You just hope for the best. You hope you're doing it the right way and get it done. Let's go to Clearwater. Gilbert, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on, Gilbert.
The answer is obviously fungus, yeast,
yep,
or whatever kind of...
Yeah, it's Candida albicans for that is common for...
yeast.
Yeast.
Yes.
Candida albicans. There's many species. One of the most common is Candida albicans. So Candida is really it's a bacterium, a yeast or a type of fungus. It's not a virus. So congratulations, Gilbert. You won a $25 supplement gift card. We appreciate you listening to the show and calling in. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
You bet. So we had a lot of calls today, and people are, who would, people say, oh, you're going to have a sponsor. They're going to talk about You're going to talk about silver gel. Yeah? A lot of people would have passed that up. No. I know that this product, they helped change my mind about silver products. I was not a fan of silver products because there was so much hocus pocus. People mixing their own formulas at home, turning blue. Am I making that up?
No, you're not.
And doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and I was not a fan. American Biotech Labs changed my mind. They're the makers of Silver Biotics products. And this product is wonderful. The silver gel, the tooth gel, the toothpaste now. Yeah, it's all good. Where can they go to learn more?
Silverbiotics.com is the company's website that has a lot of research on it and a very large facts question. So a lot of your questions can get answered.
Have you talked to the man?
Always.
Tell him who the man is.
The man is Dr. Keith Moeller.
Yeah. That guy is one pile of inspiration, let me tell you. One giant pile of inspiration. Unbelievable. Passionate. I've seen him talk to people. and he's cranked, and these people are standing looking at him like, okay, I got it. And he keeps going. He's the little bunny that just keeps on.
Energizer bunny.
Oh my God, he's so inspired. You need people like that. I mean, he works the show. He's out. He's not an elitist. He's out there on the floor working, talking to people, promoting the product, giving samples away. Oh, you don't have? I'll send it to you. If we don't have, I'll send it to you. I mean, I've spent hours with him. I love talking to him.
The company's goal is to help people, period, and make their lives easier and deal with things that they may not be able to find any other products that work.
Yeah. I just wanted to thank you for listening to the show today or watching it. We have many faults. Taking you for granted is not among them. And I can tell you that with the greatest of sincerity and from my heart. I was telling somebody over the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, about the show, a new neighbor. These poor people, it's unleashed me on the neighbors. And I think, what do you do for a living? That's all I need to hear. And then I occupy them for the next 45 minutes. Out in the heat and the sun, they're sweating. I'm going on about the show. And I was telling them what a privilege it is to do this show and to come on air. There are some people on this planet know a heck of a lot more than I do. There's always a faster gun in town, always. But I always would tell my students, many of you are smarter than I am, but you'll never work any harder. So I'm just telling you. It is a privilege to be able to have this platform and come to you 5 days a week, 2 hours a day live with a great crew, great guests such as Dr. Bird. Every person affiliated with this show is just as inspired as I am to do this job. And so I just wanted you to know that we are grateful for you and we appreciate you. And we hope that we're making some sort of contribution. I keep learning. I keep going, taking my classes and my courses. I haven't stopped. So just to be better at this for you. That's why we do it. Thank you again. We are coast to coast and we're global. We have a new affiliate. We'll tell you more about them in New Mexico. Your health is your wealth, and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you. I'll see you tomorrow.